Today I'm going to be showing you how I personally get support and resistance and highs and lows on different time frames. So, it was really a big problem for me when I started getting my support and resistance right. So I decided to, allocate every support or every resistance to a particular time frame so I don't get faked out or manipulated. So you know how it goes, nothing is 100%. This is just my perspective on the market. How I get my own support and resistance doesn't mean it's the only way, but let's get into the video though. So when I'm looking for support, resistance, high or low, normally what I do is I normally do a top-down analysis from the weekly, but later in the video I'll show you an example, but let's use a plain board for now. So what I normally do is, okay, if I go to the weekly time frame and I see support, for example, and resistance. Okay, it doesn't have to be both. Let's start with support first. Now this is a classic support here. So when I see this on the weekly, now it only needs two candles to form this. At least two candles, one bearish candle and one bullish candle. Something like let's say this is the bearish candle. And this is the bullish candle. Doesn't have to be perfect though. This is the bullish candle. So on the weekly now, this is a weekly support level. This is a weekly support level. Why? Because these two candles formed on the weekly. These two candles formed on the weekly. Now, if you're a breakout trader and you want to, you trade breakout, my advice is you wait for a weekly candle to break below this. When I mean break, I mean the body should close below this, below the low or the lowest point of this zone here. Because okay, let's assume for example now you're on the 4 hour, and you see a breakout here. How sure are you that is a breakout? So this is just to make things easier. How sure are you that is a breakout? So the best thing you will do is to wait for a weekly candle to break below this low. That's when you know, okay, now there's a breakout. Now doesn't mean anytime you get a breakout you just sell, because sometimes price will just come, go below, come back up the next week. So the best thing to do is, like, the reason why I'm giving this out is that you can form a strategy with this, form your own model around this. Some people always get faked out and they be like, why am I always getting faked out? Why am I always missing the move? That kind of thing. So I think this should help. This should help. So once you see a candle, or maybe you want to buy from support here, that's when you really need your top-down analysis. Maybe you go down to the daily, you wait for a pin bar here or an engulfing candle or anything, or you wait for, let's say this candle formed a trend on the 4 hour, for example. This candle formed a trend on the 4 hour. Now when the trend is being formed, when I say a trend is formed on the 4 hour, that means the higher lows and the higher highs, or the lower lows and the lower highs, are being formed on the 4 hour, down or upwards, depending on the direction. So let's say for example on the 4 hour, on the daily, you get something like, let's say this candle on the daily was just something like this. was just something like, a parabolic move. But on the 4 hour, it did something like this. For example, did something like this. Now, if this got to a resistance level, let's say this a resistance, okay, locked it. Let's say this is a resistance level, and the daily did this to that resistance level, and the 4 hour did this to that resistance level on that the same candle. Now, what you do on the 4 hour, maybe you're looking to sell from the resistance. If you're someone that uses trend line, I don't use trend lines. I trade smart money concepts. So, well, I was once trading all this. I'm not trying to say it doesn't work. It works. I still use them, but particularly I don't use trend lines again. So, for example, you do this. This is your 4 hour now. Now, what you should be waiting for is this is the low. Now you should know how to get your trend higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now, once price does this on the 4 hour, breaks this 4 hour low, here. Once price breaks this 4 hour low, now this is not a strategy. I'm just giving you a concept you can work with. So once price breaks this 4 hour low here, it's about to go down. It's about to go lower, something like this. But if this thing formed on the daily time frame, this trend upward here, for example, it formed on the daily time frame, and you are now on the 1 hour or on the 4 hour, and now you see a breakout of that daily low, how are you sure it's a breakout? How are you sure it's not a fake out? Maybe you get a breakout during London session or maybe New York session, but the day has not closed below the low. How are you sure it is a breakout? So this is just my little concept around support and resistance. So I will show you a trade I took with this concept, not like the trend line and the higher low, but I will show you a trade I took this week. That was I think on Thursday. Although the trade came back and took me out at break even, but at least I secured a 1 to 2 risk the reward. And I didn't share it on the Telegram group for some reasons best known to me. Not like I have a VIP or a paid group or anything, but I decided not to share it, for some reasons. So I don't have a VIP. I don't have any paid service for now. So everything is free, and I will try and I'll put the link of the Telegram channel in the description of this video. I've been, this is a new channel, so I've been trying to, verify the channel so I can be posting my links under the videos. But YouTube has always been declining my verification. I've used different methods. I don't know what's wrong, but I believe I will sort it out before posting this video because I've been trying it for like a week now. So, but if I don't sort it out, I'll look for a way around it. Maybe if I don't start another channel, I'll look for a way. I believe there should be a solution. Maybe I'll put the link in the comment section for you guys to join. So, but that's just by the way. So let's get to the EURJPY trade I took on Thursday, I think. Okay, this trade came back to take me out of break even. So this is it here. Now, when I'm trading, a lot of people will start here. I saw price doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. To be honest, I don't do all that. Like, I just focus on where price is at the moment. Be it a downtrend, uptrend, I just look for highs and lows. Maybe you call it support and resistance, but that's just what I look for. So the actual trade was here. This is the origin. Let me lock this so I don't mistakenly move it. So the actual trade was here. This down close candle, this black candle, and this up close candle was my 4-hour support. Why? Because these two candles formed on the 4-hour. Now, if we should go to the daily time frame, let's see if we're going to see that support, that particular support, just to be sure. Now, this is the daily time frame. Where is my support? These two lines. Are you seeing something? There is nothing on the daily, just bullish candles, then came up here and formed the resistance. But on this 4-hour support, there is nothing here. It's just bullish candle, then came back with a bearish candle. There's no level of there's no structural level here, or support or resistance, any language you want to use. So just to be sure, then let's go back to the 4-hour. And this is the 4-hour. Guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to be, like a bit fast with my explanation, so you can always watch the video over and over again. So now this down close candle and this up close candle is my support on the 4-hour. So normally I incorporate other blocks with this kind of levels, other blocks and fair value gaps and all those things, So when I got this level on the 4-hour, the next thing I would do, the next thing I did, not I would do, the next thing I did was I went on the 1-hour. I went down to the 1-hour time frame. I always do a top-down analysis. I went down to the 1-hour time frame. Now what I was looking for on the 1-hour time frame was an order block in that support region. Another block in that support region. So when I came to the 1-hour, I saw the order block here, this pink level. How do I know it's another block? Now, this was the last down close candle before this upward move that broke structure here. The last down candle before this upward move. All these candles, 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the last bearish candle before this move here that broke structure. It's that simple. Now, if it were to be like, okay, this up candle, then a bearish candle, then another up candle, is invalid. I won't take that as another block. I need this parabolic move above the level. So don't forget, this is our 4-hour support. These two yellow lines indicate that. So what I was looking for on the 1-hour was a bullish candle in this order block. Now this is a 1-hour order block, so I'm looking for a 1-hour bullish candle in the order block. So this candle came, tapped in, but I need a blue candle. Tapped in, then formed this blue candle. So after forming this blue candle, I was like, okay, where are we going to exit the trade? Because you don't just enter a trade and you don't have a target. So I saw the fair value gap above here. This is a fair value gap. The difference, the gap between the close of the high of this candle and the low of this other candle. Let me mark it out. Let me use my normal color. No. Let's use this color. So these two lines now are my fair value gaps. These two. So that's where I was targeting. Although there were other fair value gaps here. But the reason I didn't take this fair value gap, I think I've explained that before. I need a fair value gap that has a high. Since we're coming down, I need a fair value gap that has liquidity in it or with it, like a high. So let's look at this other fair value gap here. This one and this one. So this is another fair value gap here. This candle and this candle. So let's go. What I did next was I went down to the 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame. Minute time frame. Now this was that other block. This is liquidity here resting above. Although this high later formed, I think this high later formed, but this is where I'm looking at to take my profit. So when the bullish candle, when the 1 hour candle formed on the 1 hour order block, that was around here. So the next thing I was waiting for was a break of structure. So I was waiting for a break of structure. Price did not break this place here. Instead, it came down, took this low, with this candle. So if you know this ICT breaker block and all that, I think he's in his market maker series. I think that's the video you get that. That's the series you get that video from. So when I saw this low being taken here, what I was waiting for now was this high to be broken. Now another thing is a result I got from my backtesting from 5 years, or 5 years backward. I think from 2016 or 20. I can't remember where I backtested from, but I backtested a lot. So I realized that if the last low was taken out by a body of a candle, if the body closed under that low and forms a high like this now, if price displaces above this high, is a valid break of structure. But according to ICT, it has to break this other high here before it will be considered a valid break of structure. Guys, my battery is running low. Let me lock this. I don't want to move it by mistake. So I waited for, since I saw this high, once this low was taken with a full close of this candle below that low, what I was waiting for it to form a high. So it formed this high, then displaced with this candle here. Although this one closed above, but I like the close to be energetic, so it displaced with this candle here, this big candle. So when I saw that big candle, I knew we were going to, although I took my main entry was here at the close of this candle, because this can let me see this candle at the close of this candle, because I've gotten a lot of confluences, so I just needed the bullish candle to close above. So at the close of this candle, but I'll advise you wait for this one. At the close of this candle, I was 70% sure that okay, we've broken structure. Then at the close of that candle, let's use this line, close of that candle, then I went down to the 5 minutes. This is the close of that candle. So what I was looking for now was a fair value gap to enter from. Now I saw this 5 minutes fair value gap. So this 5 minutes fair value gap from this candle, the high of this candle, to the low of this candle. There's a gap that has not been filled here. So I waited for price to come back into that fair value gap after that break. Then my stop loss is always below the last low. So that was it. The trade went at least 1 to 2 before coming back to stop me out at break even, because I moved my stop loss. Should give me a 1 to 2. Yeah, exactly. 1 to 2. So I moved my stop loss to break even. Immediately I got 1 to 2, I took some profit and moved my stop loss to break even. So that's it, guys. This is the trade, or this is the video on how to get highs and lows, support and resistance on different time frames. So I'll really appreciate it if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and